Welcome back to Over 55. Our today's guest is Rod Whitwham. He's president of the Society for Learning in Retirement. Hello, Rod. How are you doing?
Ron, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about SLR.
SLR stands for the Society for Learning in Retirement. It's a member-run organization, so totally volunteer. Been around now for over 15 years, and we're all about what we call active learning. It's an opportunity for people who are retired or semi-retired in London and environs to keep their mind active and their spirit young.
Okay, so I think before we spoke that it is a not-for-profit organization.
Totally not-for-profit, yes.
Which is, it's challenging.
It is. We rely on donations and grants and that sort of thing for our funding because our membership fees we intentionally keep them extremely low in order to not make that a barrier to people coming out.
Okay, before we get into that financial side, I guess, which is, I know, very small on your side,
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about the organization itself, what the Learning in Retirement is basically. What do you teach or add to the people who are going to come to your classes?
We have 3 terms we run each year. One runs for 10 weeks in September, October, November. We do it again January, February, and March, and then a shorter one in April through the middle of June. And we run study groups in each of these. The topics vary every term, and a variety of topics that would appeal to almost any interest anybody could possibly have. So people who attend have an opportunity to pick a topic area, and then we call it active learning because people do a small research on the topic they chose, make a 15 or 20-minute presentation in their small group, and then the key part is discussing it in the group because that's where the active learning and the fun takes part.
Okay, so you get involved. So you're not just sitting there for 10 weeks listening to somebody go on about some topic that even though you're interested, you know enough about it probably yourself, but you want to learn a little bit. So this way they can do some of their own research, get involved, maybe give their perspective of like I saw on your website, there's amazing classes from political science, what's going on in the world today, to probably just about anything. If the different students, maybe they come and say, they give you ideas a year in advance on what classes?
We rely on them actually to do that, and we actually even run one of our classes in which it's open door. You can talk about anything you absolutely want as opposed to, say, a pre-selected topic. So it literally can appeal to anybody.
Okay, now how many are in a class, rough size?
Maximum of 20.
Okay.
And probably minimum of 10, so somewhere between 10 and 20. And the sessions run for an hour. There's 2 presentations, one for the first hour, one for the second hour. But the majority of that hour is taken up with discussion.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to to be a member costs how much a year?
It's $10 a year to be a member.
Well, that's
cheap.
a hardship.
And then you can take as many courses as you wish. It's $65 for the 10-week courses or $50 for the 8-week course.
Okay.
So most members take 1 a term, some of them 2 a term. That's pretty much it.
Okay, now we have somebody that probably is more the expert than, say, if it's 20, you had one person. Would they lead the class or lead the group, or is there, or they sort of fall out as it goes through?
I kind of hesitate to use the word expert because because you don't really have to have an expertise. All you need to do is to have an interest in the topic you're discussing. I mean, if it was a current event, for example, and you've read about something in the newspaper that tweaked your interest over the last week or 2, you could come out and say, I would like to talk about this today, and give us your opinions or your thoughts or whatever, and then give the group an opportunity to discuss. So you kind of lead that discussion, but it's mostly, it ends up being a round table discussion kind of sort of thing, and it's really pretty interesting.
So as a boomer and a over 55 person, to me this sounds great because it's getting you away from the web in a way.
True.
You're getting more into a group with real people and you're socializing. So part of this is the social aspect of not just answering and talking on a website. You're actually meeting people and getting maybe coffee and discussing it after the class.
Even the coffee and cookies are cheap, 50 cents a piece. But yeah, that's true. It's a huge piece of this is social interaction. It's not about going there and being entertained with one speaker who you know 100 people in the audience, and it's not about being at home on your computer only. It's about active learning, as we call it, pure learning, pure teaching.
Okay, because that is important because we're trying to find ways of getting people out of their homes these days. We all talk about retirement and it's great, but then we get to that retirement age and we go, what do we do now? Because there's nothing to do, and you can look at a computer, but it really isn't very interactive with you. So coming to your classes, I mean, I looked on the website, there's a huge amount of classes. You can pick and choose, and I think the beauty is you can actually say, okay, there's a topic that I want to talk about, and you probably find somebody that would find similar interest.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And the other thing I like about it too is that, again, when we were talking before the show, I spent my life in business sort of focused on what I had to do. I didn't have time to learn about a lot of things that now I'm finding that are quite interesting, but I can do it without going to a class with, you know, exams and tests and all that sort of thing, because there's none of that. So it's fun learning.
Yeah, so it's nice and comfortable. You can participate as much or as little as you want. You don't have to, if you're one of these people that may be a little introverted, you can still come and sit and listen and maybe help to get involved a bit more.
We recognize there's a number of people who are worried about that kind of, oh, I don't want to make a presentation. But we want them to come along and find out that we don't bite. We're not professionals. We're not great presenters. So what we're going to try to do is to allow people to sit in for one course, audit the course if you like,
okay.
and if they want to, and just get used to it and say, you know, I can do this. This is fun, and they can still, you know, take part in the debate.
Okay. In closing, any suggestions or even where you're located? I know we put it up on the site, but the address of the...
We're located at the corner of Richmond and Windermere in what was the Sisters of St. Joseph up there on the mount where the kids toboggan down the hill in the winter.
Great.
That's where we are.
I was there last night.
Oh, were you? But you weren't tobogganing.
Oh, that's good. So it's nice and central in the
It
city, easy, good parking.
Free parking.
Free
That's
parking.
important.
That is important. So
it is.
just bring 50 cents for cookie and coffee and learn something and
Absolutely.
get involved.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Rod.
Thanks,
Much
Ron.
appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back to our next On Location.